we finally got the chance to take a Hatteras Motor Yacht from Grenada to the Grenadines. Just one catch, it wasn't our yacht.
One look in your eyes and I find it. When you leave in my mind I rewind it. When you got it this good, you don't fight it.
How did we end up there? Well, it started with a joke about engine rebuilds and spare staterooms, and the next thing you know, Lyn and I are on a jet plane and we're flying to Grenada. Now, if you're wondering why we're telling you this story from our land house, it's because we lost one of our cameras.
In Claremont, Florida.
Well, we think. We don't know. It might have fallen out of Lyn's purse. We have no idea. But the problem is it had all of our interviews on it, and it also had us doing narration about, trying to tell the story. So
it was our Osmo Pocket. So if anybody finds that, I just want the card.
Yeah, if we can take the card. We wanted to replace the camera with a new modern one anyway. But anyway, you're going to be stuck with us telling the story from here. If you don't know where Grenada is, it's an island in the southeastern part of the Caribbean, kind of close to the equator. It's a great hurricane hideout because more often than not, in fact, almost never, the hurricanes just kind of avoid that area, except I think last year or the year before it actually did get hit. Yeah. But the reason we are going there is our friends Ed and Flo have their Hatteras yacht there, and it's very similar to ours. It's a 58 Hatteras Motor Yacht.
It's beautiful.
Except that it's the cockpit version, which means it has the cockpit in the back and I guess one less stateroom. But
I think they're wider too.
Hers,
are they?
It might be. Yeah, I think it is. I think it was like a slightly newer because ours is a 16-foot wide boat. They changed it. Ours is in 1979. I think it was around 82. They started making them 18-foot wide. Yeah, because they had a catwalk. Yeah, so they definitely have the 18-footer. But anyway, it's a very similar boat. So that was a lot of fun. It was almost like being on our Hatteras, but not quite. Ed and Flo bought their Hatteras in Florida just a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and they took the boat all the way from Florida to Grenada, which is just way cool. That's what we want to do. So it was fun listening to their stories about how they did it. But if you want to know, they also have a YouTube channel. It's called AWOL at Sea, and check out their channel because they're just catching up on some editing. I know, so they're going to have a whole lot of fun stories to tell there, and you definitely want to check it out.
They had quite adventures along the way.
Yeah, in fact, at some point you're going to see us on their boat. I don't know when. Might be a couple of months from now or a year. Who knows how quickly Ed edits? I edit very slowly, but we'll see. We'll see. Look for us in a future edition or a future episode of AWOL at Sea.
Plus, their stories are so interesting. They had crazy things happen to them.
Yeah, well, they're quite adventurous. They actually took a catamaran with their family, crossed the Atlantic, hung out in the Mediterranean for a while, and then headed on back. I don't think they filmed that yet, so you may not see that on the channel, but you're definitely going to see their adventure taking the Hatteras from Florida all the way down to Grenada. Now, the first order of business, of course, was Ed's take on a dark and stormy.
So this is the famous Shark and Stormy. It's 1 ounce of Gosling's Black Seal rum, and it has to be the exact ingredients. There's no substitutions. Cocktail glass with ice, and topped off with Krabby's alcoholic ginger beer.
Which I've never heard of before.
It comes from Scotland. Once you have this, a dark and stormy will never be the same. I find that a lot of bars serve dark and stormies in big glasses. They're all diluted. We want it strong. So that's the way it goes. 1 ounce of this stuff. And topped off with Krabby's. That's the secret. That's it.
Cheers.
Here's to new friends and good company and good old Hatterases.
Hatteras.
Hatterases brought us together.
Hatterases are rock solid boats.
Indeed.
After a few drinks and getting to know each other, we decided to go out to dinner at the restaurant at the marina. And I don't remember what the name of this restaurant is, but it's at the Port Louis Marina is where we're at. So whatever restaurant there is there. It's a great restaurant. The food was good. The service was pleasant. A little slow, but hey, you're in the islands. Everything's slow, but the food was excellent. Well, the following day, we decided we were going to explore Grenada a little bit before heading out on the boat. So Ed had a rental car. So we did a little bit of sightseeing. In fact, we went to Annandale Falls, which was
beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, kind of out in the jungle area. And We got to see that guy.
Yeah, the
jumped
guy
off the cliff. Whatever.
Right, he went to the high part and jumped off. I wasn't gonna do it,
Yeah, it was
because you
fun.
don't know how shallow the water is. But anyway, that was really cool, and they had a bar right there too, which that was awesome.
Yeah, and
We had some cocktails.
and you did some shopping because I don't know if you
Yes,
know
we did.
this, but Grenada is it's called the Spice Island, I believe.
Yeah,
and-
Island of Spice. Yeah,
Yeah.
And so they have nutmeg, cinnamon, bay leaves, a whole slew of spices. And so I stashed up on some of them.
She bought a lot, bags and bags of spices to give out for gifts and to use herself. So. Following morning, we finished prepping for the first leg of our trip was to Carriacou, which is a Grenada island just a little bit north. And we were joined by Pookie and Heath, who are friends of Ed and Flo. And, well, they quickly became our friends as well. Well, when we got to Carriacou, we dropped the hook and then we swam to the island for dinner.
No, we didn't.
Nah, just kidding. We did not swim. We took a water taxi and we lost that footage too.
I have faith it's going to show up. The camera's going to show up somewhere. Someone's going to be like, "Hey, I know them."
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's not going to happen.
Stranger things have been known to happen.
And even if it did happen, it wouldn't really matter because I will have already edited this.
No,
video.
but I got a lot of good stuff on that. That's our storytelling.
We'll see. I got to read from my notes here because I forget the order that we did things. Well, our next stop was the Tobago Keys.
Beautiful.
And, yeah, it was just stunningly beautiful. You know, we've been to a lot of beautiful places in the Bahamas and all that. This place was equally as beautiful. Just stunning. The cool hills and the turquoise water.
And Flo and Ed got a special anchor spot that they had reserved
Yeah.
between the two islands. It was like awesome.
Yeah, they had been there before. In fact, they were going back just kind of to show us the island, which was very nice.
Thank you, guys.
And they knew a perfect place to anchor, which we did. And one of the really cool things about this island, in fact, I think it's a lot of the islands down there in the Tobago, Grenadines, and even Grenada, is that a lot of the islands are not inhabited. But locals from other islands will come over and they will hold a party barbecue on the uninhabited islands.
They'll bring all the supplies over
Yep,
and
they'll
barbecue.
they'll come up on their boat and say, "Hey, we're going to have a party tonight. We're going to do a barbecue. Do you guys want to join?" You know, of course, you can say yes or no, and it was $50 a head, and of course we said yes. And then they come back at a designated time, pick you up on their little water taxi, basically, take you to the island, and you get some nice local homemade food by the
Right, that was, and it was amazing. It was delicious.
Oh yeah.
The boats that they're water taxis,
Yeah.
they were very interesting because to me, I'm pretty sure they made them themselves because
they're made of wood.
It was
but it's a great opportunity,
fun.
not just to get the local cuisine, but also to just meet some of the local people. But it's pretty cool how they do that. They don't live on this island. They live at that island, over there, and they just come over. And I guess they know us boaters are always looking to
I
do
hope
something fun.
I hope that doesn't stop.
Yeah, I don't think
that
so.
that is really cool.
Yeah. Well, we are on our way again. We just left the anchorage and we are heading over to a place called Chatham Bay. I don't know the exact name of the island. I think it might be Union. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen. And we're going to go hang out there, spend an evening there at an anchorage and see what's in town. I know that Ed and Flo have not been here before, but Pookie and Heath have, so they know a little bit about the bay and the island. So, well, we'll see you when we get there. The next morning, we pulled up anchor again, and this time we headed to a place called Chatham Bay, which is on Union Island. Union Island, where we're heading back towards Grenada, and it's kind of like
that covey place.
Yeah, it's like a cove. It's kind of like a horseshoe-shaped
that was
cove.
Cool. So calm.
Yeah, where we anchored out, and there wasn't a whole lot of people anchored there. I think there was just a couple of other boats, but it was also very beautiful. And when we arrived at Chatham Bay, we decided to celebrate. So Chef Pookie decided to make some special drinks for us. Now, you may know who Chef Pookie is. She was the runner-up in MasterChef UK. I think it was last year or the year before. I'm not sure. Well, not only is she a master chef, she makes amazing drinks. You can follow Pookie on Instagram. It's pookiestylecook on Instagram, and she's got all kinds of little, photos and little video clips and things. So it's
delicious stuff.
It's
amazing.
Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah, it's fun.
And one of the locals came over and said, "Hey, we're going to have this, barbecue on the beach tonight, and do you want to come?" And well, of course.
There's a couple shacks on the beach that different people run. I think the time we went there, only one shack was open, and they were doing the dinner at night, and we had a blast.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How we dress. We come to the beach bar, and this is the dress code.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to wear a tie, but
No. And look at his missus. You see, dress code. See? Yeah. And we look like an ape, and they
No,
look
you
like
don't.
Oh, Lyn. Hi,
Lyn,
Lyn.
hi, I'm Wayne.
Okay.
Nice name.
The dinner was great, and then there was another boat that was anchored near us, and it was, I'm going to say, man, it must have been about a dozen young women from Martinique were on this boat, and they came by to have dinner. Well, the next thing you know, we're all dancing and drinking, and we just had a blast. They were really nice people. The hosts, the family that ran the barbecue were fantastic, and it was
one big family party. It was a lot of fun.
It's cool. So if you do end up in these islands and somebody comes over on their boat and says, "Hey, we're going to have a barbecue tonight," yeah, do it. This morning we turned back toward Grenada. One more day of dining, drinking, and laughing with Ed and Flo, two people who welcomed us into their world and made this season brighter just when we needed it most. We're back in Grenada after a fantastic trip to the Grenadines and a couple different islands. And well, we had to come back as well. We had a provision. But this is our last day here in Grenada. We're going to be heading back to Florida tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to have a couple of cocktails, and then Flo is making us a traditional Belizean meal this evening. So we're really looking forward to that. Well, we have a sunset here.
We do.
And maybe we'll get a picture of this. Maybe it'll end up on Instagram.
Maybe.
Maybe it'll just be YouTube.
We can always.
The sun is right there.
Yeah, it's there. Look. If I go like this, wait. Okay.
Wait.
Look at the sun. Okay,
Oh,
that's the
okay.
sunset. Okay,
See,
but
we're here.
our camera does not want us to get the sunset, but we have the
You
sunset.
can get your imagination. Use your imagination.
Okay, so I'm going to try and take a picture of this now. How's that? And a huge thanks to Ed and Flo and to Heath and Pookie for making this trip unforgettable. And thanks to all of you for coming along with us. Until next time, Roger out.